Oh, I didn't do it. The crowd did. And I was like, yuck!
Do you know who I am? Sort of thing. Like, it was that sort of face.
They were like blown away by the speed of McLarens.
Whenever Shakira's at a race of his, he gets a podium.
He gets a raging podium.
You're the stars!
You won the race. You won the race. You got a podium.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your favourite podcast that's about F1, specifically hosted by me, Evan, and Taylor. It is the Idiots of F1, the podcast. Welcome back. Welcome back, Tay. Welcome back, Ev.
Thank you. Am I still a reserve?
No, you're officially, you're the Danny Ricciardo. You're 2023 driving.
Oh, here we go.
Officially driving now. United by an amateurish and mostly uneducated love for Formula One, the three of us, everyday fans armed with a microphone, are on a mission to obnoxiously share our insights and opinions with any of you idiots that will indeed listen. And I'll be honest, if you manage to listen to the entirety of that national anthem sung by Damian Lewis with a jazz saxophonist next to it, you will listen to fucking anything. What a way to kick off.
That was so weird. That was so
Someone
weird.
mentioned to me that he was going to sing the anthem, and I was like, okay, interesting choice. This will be interesting. I hope he does well. Then to do it with a solo sax player.
I know, that should have been you, Diggers. Both gingers up there.
No, thank you. I mean, you gotta...
I'm not going to lie, he did have a better voice than I recall him having, but then again, he has done shows. He has done theatre before, so his
most actors
background's
should be able to sing.
Most English actors.
Have you seen this, Ev?
All right, hold on. No, I haven't.
Okay, so that's all right. Watch. You don't.
Oh God! And now you're gonna play it for us, are you?
Oh yeah, turn it up. Ooh, this is so bad.
It's so funny. Why does he sing like that? Oh, and he's really trying hard.
The saxophone's so good.
Oh, he practiced that a lot. We'll have to.
Reminded me of The Simpsons again. It's like someone, Alan, I can't remember his name. He's a stand-up comedian, talk show host, and he does some slam poetry, and he's doing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" with just a sax player. It was Bleeding Gums Murphy episode, and that's all I could think of.
I love how
it was pretty awkward.
Always.
Speaking of awkward, one of the more awkward grid walks in a while. It just seemed really crowded for Martin. And then when he came up to, what's her name?
Cara Delevingne.
Delevingne.
What a flog.
What a fucking awesome burn.
Yeah, I know.
So if you didn't see it, Cara Delevingne was there. I don't really care about her. A lot of people seem to. She's model/actor and not the other way around. She was there with her publicist, and the publicist was telling Martin Brundle that he could, in fact, not have an interview with her. And he was like, I'm sorry, but the rule is if you're on the pit, you have to accept any interviews that come your way. And I was like, yeah, that's good. Good on him. So they eventually concede, and he walks up to Cara and asks her to talk, and she just says no. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, you have to. And she's like, oh, well, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear.
Like,
what is he saying? Yeah. What is he saying? So apparently she was a guest to the Alfa Romeo team. So she was hanging out with them the whole weekend. She was sitting in the car. She was getting photos done with them. And that's the guy who was telling Martin originally, no, she's not doing interviews. He was an Alfa Romeo guy.
So it wasn't even her publicist.
Yeah, it could have been just the Alfa Romeo team's publicist, or just a fucking mechanic.
The best bit about it was that he then walks away from her and goes, "Oh well, I'm sure that would have been very interesting anyway."
Extremely, no, he said extremely interesting.
Oh, what a fucking bird! And obviously, Twitter, all her fans were outraged. Well, he said you weren't allowed to talk to her. You can't just break that boundary. I'm like, well, rules are rules.
Off.
Get off the fucking pit walk if you're not going to talk.
Oh my God.
We've talked about this way too much. What I did love, though, was his interview with Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is a celebrity who fucking loves F1, and every celebrity who loves F1, knows F1, has an enormous amount of respect for Martin, which I do like.
Yes, that is true. And you know how apparently there's someone who's taking credit for Brad loving F1 and for the reason why he's doing that film.
Is it Angelina Jolie?
No, definitely
Lewis
not.
Hamilton?
No, it's fucking Dax Shepard. He's taking credit
really?
for it. Yeah, because he and Brad apparently motocross, or they like the MotoGP, right? And they touch base on it every now and then. And so Dax had, I think, messaged Brad and basically said, like, hey, you need to check out the new show on Netflix. It's called Drive to Survive. Let me know when you finished it, right? And just left it at that. And then apparently Brad wrote back at like 3 a.m. saying, I'm at episode 8, season 3 or some shit, and I have not stopped watching it. So then that's apparently what's then, caused the love of F1, and now he's doing
He's like,
the shit.
I've only slept with 3 supermodels in the last hour because of this show.
Yeah.
What? I'm not hitting my quotas.
Quotas.
So I thought overall, though, it was an amazing weekend, a really good qualifier and an exceptional race. Like, you got both. Like, Austria, we got a really good sprint, and the race was pretty good. But this was, all weekend, it was really exciting. And it was great to see in the home track all the Brits and the British teams do well. Like, Williams did well. Then we had Lando up on the podium.
Albon did so well. Albon did so well.
Oh, he did. Spoiler alert, by the way, everyone. 2 Brits on the podium, in case you didn't watch the race.
No one's listening to us who doesn't watch the race.
I think it's exactly what Silverstone deserved. And stop telling people you didn't watch the race, Ev. I'm going to just cut it out, all right? Pretend you've watched the race. Exactly what Silverstone deserved and needed, as they have apparently been injected with a lot of new funding. Are you aware of this, Ev?
Yes.
I don't know if you would have noticed, but there was new blocks of grandstand being built on the weekend.
Yeah, that funding, I think that came through a few years ago.
Oh, okay, and they're only just kind of spending
it. So it's only out, yeah.
Because I did mention my the band's managers and stuff that are over there. They performed at Woodlands, and one of their other bands performed as well. And they were saying they've just got this huge amount of funding now, so there's way more entertainment. The stage looked amazing. They had that big runway going down into the crowd, which was really cool. So that stage is usually quite far away from the audience because there's a little grassy hill before, so it's quite a distance. So now they've got that runway. All the drivers can get right down and low into the crowd, which is cool. But apparently it was an amazing weekend. I knew a few people who were there, just sending random photos.
Well, you got it that
everyone
you went
was in
there?
high spirits.
Yeah,
especially with that. I think, to be honest, though, I liked watching it on TV. It's really good on TV, Silverstone.
To be honest, I think it's actually my new favorite track.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, like for some reason I got nothing to hate about it. I just love the track. It is such a good track. It's got a bit of everything.
What's the what's the corners? The big, large kind of
swerves. They've got the 3 names for them. I've completely blanked on them.
Not Cobbs. Cobbs is where
not Abbey.
Max crashed.
Maggots and Baggots.
Maggots.
Yes.
That bit is fucking awesome.
And full. Oh, it was so good.
So, let's start with the qualifier. It was pretty eventful. We'll keep it short here, but Mclaren came in at 2 and 3, which kind of gave us all the warnings that they're here to race. But I know often we see a qualifier, though, and go, well, it's just, they'll probably go back to their usual spot. Like Haas do. Yeah. How did you feel when you saw them sitting at 2 and 3? Did you kind of take it seriously, or were you like me going, maybe it's a Haas situation, they'll just fall back later in the race?
I think for me, I'll go first, Ev. I think
Shan tells me you like to go first, buddy.
Oh yeah, always.
There you go.
I think what was really funny, and obviously we'll touch on this as we're talking about it, but like the fact that everyone who was coming through and finishing in those last 2 minutes, right? So as soon as it went 0, then you had everyone. Everyone got in pretty much their times on that last lap. Everyone made it for that last lap. Yeah. And you see Perez come through. It's like, oh shit, that's a not bad time. He's doing well.
Number 1. Oh yeah, that's a respectable
and
time.
And then you just see it drop, and he's just dropping. And then it was just awesome to see that. And then seeing essentially Lando and Piastri come in one after another, and they were the last couple of cars to come through just come in, and that was like, holy shit, they were fucking flying. I
actually thought Max had finished, so when Lando was number 1, I was like, oh my god, and then I'm quickly scanning to see if Max had finished. I was like, oh no, Max is going to come in at number 1. And then he did. It was so frustrating.
I know. And that's the thing. And obviously, Checo doing so woefully awful in it once again, and having a lot to fight for in the race itself.
Oh, jeez. He's in trouble now.
And it just brings to mind is like, why is there such a discrepancy between Max and him, and they're in the same fucking car? Like, you don't see that big a discrepancy. You did slightly between Alonso and Stroll, but not huge.
I was just going to say, Alonso and Stroll often, but not that far.
But not that far. Not like Q3 to Q1 far.
No.
You know?
I did take note as well. Some of the other teams, Albon was 8, and Hulk again up at 11.
Yeah.
Like, he is driving now consistently well in qualities.
Well, he's driving one lap consistently well.
Yes, but I actually think he's racing pretty well. But that car it
doesn't have the speed. It doesn't.
Yeah, I think I noted. It seems they're all about speed and not reliability.
And I was just going to say, all the reliability. Yeah.
So, Ev, these McLaren upgrades, did you know that they were going to perform this high, or were you kind of it was a lot of talk?
To all?
They serve the McLaren's, that car design suits this track really well in and of itself.
Yeah.
So really a lot better at the high and medium corners, and Silverstone doesn't really have many low speed corners.
Yeah.
I think there's only really 1 or 2 out of 20 corners we haven't done. But so it's if you didn't know, you can also, what happens with Haas, for example, is that you can set your car up for qualifying, and Williams do the same thing. You just try and get into Q3, and it's really exciting, and it's really good for sponsors and things like that, and then you just drop back. Because once you get into the race, you're not allowed to change the car at all. Yeah. And so, but what you are doing is adding around 100 to 110 kilos worth of fuel.
Yeah.
So just imagine having a really fat passenger sitting on your shoulders.
Oh, dear.
And the car just sinks down on the suspension. It's obviously a lot slower, more sluggish. So therefore it's not generating as much downforce and all of that kind of things. And it wears out the tires more. And so if you set it up for no fuel and the best straight line speed you possibly can, you're going to do really well in qualifying, because all the better teams have a more balanced setup, because they've already got a better car anyway, and they need to target the race more than the qualifying. And I was expecting. I don't think anybody was expecting McLaren to do as well as they did.
Yeah.
Even if qualifying was that good. Yeah. So
I don't think even Zach was that. He was surprised.
Yeah. That was Zach got a third patty on his hamburger surprised.
For free.
Yeah.
I actually was worried about Mercedes down at 6 and 7 because they're behind Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. So I was a little worried about them for the race. But perhaps they were just more worried about, they knew they sacrificed some positions in the
Quali
grid for a better racing strategy, because I thought they had a pretty good racing strategy, which we'll get to soon. So this week, everyone, we're doing this a little differently. Often we'll go through first through 10 and then kind of skip over the rest, as Tate says. Today we're going to go through the entire race, notable points of the race. So I'm going to go through laps 0 to 10, 10 to 25, 25 to 40, and 40 to 52. And after each of those sections, we'll kind of get our opinions and a bit of expertise thrown in there, comment on what we thought of those lap periods, and then we will have Haas. You've been paying attention. The current score is Taylor 5, Evan 4. Then we will hit what's Verstappen with all the F1 related news in our quickfire round to give you our thoughts. So, did you watch it live? Just before we start, Tay, did you watch it live?
No, I didn't, unfortunately. So I unfortunately, just with what my Sundays are like, I can't ever get to watch the races live because I work Sundays. So unfortunately, I have to wait until I stay off the socials as much as, avoiding everything, and then so I miss out on all the fucking grid chat. I miss out on all the pre-race stuff, and I also miss out on post-race stuff.
I like the podium was awesome just because it was all British. It's all like the crowd. I
480,000. 480,000.
I asked the the guys who were in the crowd, was it as loud as the TV suggested? Because the TV makes it sound so incredibly loud. Like last year when Lewis did that double overtake and the whole crowd And they said, because I remember that it was genuinely quite loud, but then when I saw it on TV, I was like, wow, that's really loud.
Yeah, especially that first lap and how loud
they said it was so fucking loud when all these things happened.
Yeah.
Like it was a pretty good indication. I was just like, there's not many tracks. I don't know any other tracks that you really get that crowd response. So I think that's one of the best things about this track.
Yeah.
It was nice to be able to watch it on TV this time. It was easy to follow. We all know how much I didn't follow last year. And good to see that Russell got to finish. And obviously, Zhou. Okay, so let's get into the race. Also, I've decided that Brad Pitt will now be spelt with one T, not two T's.
Why did you decide that?
Because it's the F1 driver now, so it's like Brad Pitt, like Pitt Lane.
You mean Sonny Hayes?
What?
Isn't that his actor's name? That's the guy's name.
Yeah.
Sonny Hayes, isn't it?
Sonny Hayes.
Yeah, his name was all up on there. The 11th
Brad
team.
Pitt.
He's fucking.
Or Brad.
No, we got it.
Box. Yeah.
No, I got it. I just
2 seconds, Ted.
2 seconds. Oh yeah, that's what I needed to mention. So there's a new so as we go through these laps, there's a new little segment. Hopefully I get the soundbite before the edit. Otherwise you're just gonna have to listen to me say 2 secs, Ted.
2 secs. Ted.
It's where anytime there's a moment where we think there's an odd decision by a team, or maybe there's a piece of
technical
information
know-how
or strategy that might not be obvious, and I'll throw to Ev to explain that. And obviously, if Tay has any dispute in Ev's claim, he can also give his opinion on it. So let's get going, shall we? So, laps 0 through 10. Lando takes Max immediately from the start, and even Piastri is fighting Max for second place on that first corner, which is wonderful for McLaren. Max aggressively pulls to the right, and by the time they get to Copse, he actually leaves plenty of room for Piastri. He must still be haunted by that crash with Hamilton. Russell splits the Ferraris as he's starting on softs. Hamilton falls a place and runs very wide early on. Not a good start for him. Norris is a second clear by lap 2. However, Max starts pulling back immediately after this. We then hit DRS after the first 2 laps. The first McLaren to be leading since 2010 on this track, by the way. Max flies by way too easily on DRS. Sainz and Russell almost collide, and then almost taken out by Leclerc in the same move. He moves twice during the braking zone, which they dispute. There's a great fight, but Russell will probably have to pit first as he's on softs. Or will he? We then have Alonso versus Lewis. Lewis holds very well against him. McLaren orders Piastri to hold and fight together and not try and challenge places. Smart move. Crowd sounds amazing. Perez is battling with Haas. Lol. Hulks damaged his car and falls back to last after having to pit. And then we see Perez versus Stroll getting way too much TV time. So my quick thoughts on this, I really didn't see McLaren taking that first corner. I was like, yeah, Max will take him first corner, race over.
And then 30 seconds ahead.
I thought Piastri was going to take him. I really did. I thought he was going to be third by the second
What was
corner.
interesting is that, and Max later came out and said, refer to this aspect that the last couple of races they've been struggling, so they're going to investigate it apparently. But it has been a couple of races where he has been worse at the start. He's had a really slow reaction time, and the fact, oh my god, and the crowd going mental when Lando fucking got him and was first. From that first corner was just brilliant. And then it was so unfortunate that Piastri just didn't push it a bit more. But on your point in regards to Max and leaving plenty of space, quotation marks.
Yes.
It's because him and Lando are best buddies.
No, but he wasn't doing it with Lando. He was doing it with Piastri. He was still fighting Piastri at that point.
All right, well, he's got a little bit more... Well, same shit. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not Lando.
But I think...
Yeah.
But yeah.
In my head, I knew
it was
who I was
also
talking
that.
about.
Yeah. That's fine.
But, like, I just generally think he's got to... Like, you see it with how they race in general between Lewis and him. His respect and his mentality towards Lewis is very different compared to others. It's almost to the point... Or to Mercedes, to be honest, because he's got that same attitude towards Russell. The same thing about the whole, well, none of us has got grip, all that shit. And like, but he's quite all right getting his shoulders out and having a go at everyone.
Exactly.
And God forbid anyone else does it to him. So I think probably there's a little bit of PTSD from Lewis on that corner for sure. But at the same time, I think he's just got a different mentality towards Mercedes compared to the other drivers.
I thought in general that it was all very respectable racing. No one did anything stupid.
Well,
Most most people didn't do anything.
We'll get to him.
Yeah.
Most people were on...
We'll get to Lance.
I think most people on mediums. There were a couple of hards maybe, but
there was
Russell, I think,
was more hards than you thought there were.
Russell was the only person on... No, actually, no, I can tell you right now that no one was on hards in that opening.
Oh, not there.
Because,
yeah, true.
And I'll get to that soon because Leclerc changed for hards.
Yes, he did.
But Russell split the Ferraris immediately. He's on softs. He was the only one on softs. Maybe there was one or two others at the back.
In the back, yeah.
And he ran really well on those.
He ran for a long time on them as well.
Yeah,
I think he hit like 27.
But I thought what was really cool with the McLarens, Norris was a second clear by the second lap. He had a very good opening lap. And I just wondered whether Max just took it a bit easy, knowing that once they got to DRS, he was just going to fly by.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I think happened.
Because what's the difference in speed for the Red Bull on the DRS, do you know, Ev?
It was, what, compared to McLaren or compared to...
Compared to their regular speeds, like 17 kilometers?
Yeah, it's like
an hour?
16, 17. Yeah. I think someone said, it's something like that.
Because they definitely look... It's funny because I thought about this. I was like, well, obviously they're easy to fight without DRS, but once Max is in front, he doesn't get DRS.
No.
And he's still annihilating everyone.
Yeah, but that's because everyone's getting that dirty air bullshit and all the other crap that plays such an effect. That's why you... Like, I mean... There's so many examples of cars that are slower than the car behind them, but the car behind them still can't take them.
Yeah, true. Well, I thought it was interesting with the Sainz and Russell, like this, that they almost collided, and then Leclerc had that little moment in the braking zone. He basically moved twice, so he pulled to the left and then pulled to the right.
He was turning while braking. Yeah,
he wasn't penalised for that, was he?
No, but I think he got a warning or something. There was something.
Yeah, maybe.
The FIA was looking at it.
Yeah, Russell still, eventually got by him, so it was fine. But yeah, it was interesting because it was pretty dangerous. They go quite fast.
Yeah, and Russell was really on his ass for a long time as well.
Yeah,
like he was hunting him down.
Almost too long. I thought the Alonso... I've been enjoying the Alonso-Lewis fight this year too. Nothing too fiery about it, but they race...
It wasn't anything compared to what was it, 2021 when Lewis was way at the back, right? And this is when we all hated Lewis.
Yeah.
and then he was fighting his way back, and we were just watching Fernando just doing such an incredible job of defending, and that's when it's just like, oh shit, he still knows how to, like, that is him. He is just such a good defender, but it didn't look like he put up any fight this weekend.
No, I tell you, Stroll didn't put up a fight at all to anyone.
Yeah,
except for this early stage. I've just in my notes Perez versus Stroll. Great TV. Like, I don't get why they were getting so much TV time with so much going on in the front.
Yeah.
Like the first race, we finally have some exciting stuff
up
in the top.
Front.
And all they wanted to show was Perez. It's like, no one cares about Perez anymore. He's out the back. He's battling Haas, for God's sake. Like, what are you doing back there, mate?
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't even flying through the pack.
No, he
like
wasn't.
He has at times.
He was doing nothing.
Nothing. What did you think, Ev, of McLaren's orders to Piastri to hold and move as a team? Do you think... I had an argument during the race with my brother. He thought, typical, they don't want Piastri. I'm sure if it was the other way, they'd swap him around. And I was saying, well, no. They're now
Yeah,
at
they
2 and
might.
3.
They
Don't
might.
fuck it up. Would you have done that?
Yeah. I would have put... I would want Lando to be first because he's your number one driver. And he's English, and it's the English race, and you're an English team. That's all. But yeah, as for like fighting one another, Piastri didn't have... He had the same upgrades, except he had the old front nose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lando had a new front wing. Subtle differences, but it all adds up. So yeah, whether or not they just thought, look, it's not worth risking damage, or this is going to be our best finish in a long time. Yeah. And I would argue perhaps even better than when Ricciardo won at Monza, because this demonstrated a more cohesive
team
win rather than your two cars kind of just finding their way at the front. So there'll be plenty more times for Oscar and Lando to fight one another. Perhaps the first chance they get isn't the right one necessarily.
It was interesting because Piastri was on the radio apparently going, "Hey, I'm faster than him, let me past." So it was a little bit
I don't know. I don't think there'd been enough time for him to know that.
No, exactly. There wasn't. It was only a few laps in. And
I'm not sure. I'm sure a lot of people would have heard this during the race. McLaren have had big problems with tyre degradation.
Yeah.
So the last thing they wanted to do was have those two push against a car that they probably can't beat and waste their tyres.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, So we get to laps 10 through to 25. We're settling in here. Ocon immediately DNFs in lap 10 with a hydraulic leak.
See ya.
Bye. Not a great weekend for Alpine, it should be said again. Lando's sitting pretty, but he does drop to about 3.5 seconds back by lap 16. But we find out later this is more for tyre management than anything. The Rain Man discusses rain possibility with his team.
We're talking about Russell.
They discuss that the light drizzle is not enough to affect the strategy, while the commentators are just absolutely frothing on this home GP. High winds and rain expected, keeps the race a little more gripping despite easing down a bit. So there wasn't too much going on, but you kind of like, oh, it could rain. So you just couldn't walk away. Anything was going to change at any moment.
Yeah.
And we noticed that the soft tyre is holding very well for Russell. And Hamilton is actually told to drive a little harder on the mediums to test them out because they probably can get more out of them than they expected. Lando gets track indiscretions. 2 secs, Ted. Evan, is there a difference between track indiscretions and track limits?
I've no idea. I've never heard of a track indiscretion.
I'm pretty
sure. Did he
sure
whip his penis out during the race or something?
No, he was just
around in like
it was
300
just
kilometer
his
wind.
character.
He was just going wide.
Like
He was just going wide on a few of the corners, and they said, "Oh, he's going to get penalised for track indiscretions." I was like, "That must be track limits." But this just the English way of saying it.
Yeah, it's the English way of saying it. Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on. Russell is chasing Leclerc at lap 17, but he still has that advantage because he's still on the softs, and it's lasting well. Perez slowly creeping up, and I emphasize slowly. He eventually takes Albon to take 10th place. Again, 2 secs, Ted. What is, they talk about the rain coming in, and Silverstone's a very big track. Yes. What would the strategy be for rain if it's really only on 1 or 2 corners? Would you, because it's plausible that it's only raining on, let's say, turn 10 and 12, right?
Yes.
Would it be better just to take that risk on slicks, or at what point would you go, let's go intermediates because there's enough rain in portions of the track?
It is, you would stay on slicks even if it was 1 or 2 corners or 3 or 4 corners, because you make up more time on the straights than you do going extra carefully through those corners. We saw it at Monaco this year, where one of the corners at the end of the straight had a bit of rain, and they were saying this is what you would do. You just stay on the slicks, except at Monaco, because you can't run wide there.
Yeah,
it's way too risky. But with Silverstone having nothing but paddocks left and right of the track, it's not a big deal, and you can certainly still survive on slicks even if it's raining for 1 or 2
Except for
corners.
Russia, when Lando stuck with slicks and...
No, but that was the
Sure
end.
did.
That by that point,
did.
that
That
was
was
the
pretty heavy.
whole fucking. That was pretty much the whole.
That was
track.
like half the track.
Yeah.
That was a bit different.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. So where were we?
Oh,
Perez
dear.
was slowly creeping up, takes Albon into 10th position. Sainz radios in. So Sainz takes a radio message. They've told him what Plan B to go with Plan B. He doesn't know what Plan B is. Ask the strategist what Plan B is. The strategist says, "I'll get back to you in a second." Classic Ferrari. Leclerc now pits before Russell, and he's on mediums, and Russell's on soft.
Yeah.
They switch him to hards, so it indicates they're probably playing the long game. I've noted throwing darts with a blindfold at this stage.
Classic Ferrari.
Lap 21, Max starts to really put the hammer down, probably to avoid the undercut from McLaren. Let's see what they can do. Alonso turns himself into a bus and holds up cars from Gasly down. There's a big line. So really, I guess the main points here, the Ocon DNF wasn't really all that exciting. I feel like we discussed the main things here. How would you forget? How does the strategist forget the strategy? Like
They didn't forget the strategy. He was probably trying to figure out a way of how to explain it
I was
without
just going to
giving it
ask
away.
that.
Oh,
And that
I
was my
see, yeah.
question to this was like, how do they get that information across without broadcasting it on the
I
radio?
see. So he forgets what Plan B is, and they're like, "Well, we can't tell you what Plan B is."
exactly.
Yeah. Come in and pit.
Yes.
Come in and pit, and I'll tell you.
yeah.
Just whisper it in my
Takes
ear.
off his helmet, whispers, just shh.
Do you know how fucking hilarious it would be?
Was it Ferrari who had, like, they went down to Plan H or something? Who was that got, like, way down the list of plans?
God. It was
and
almost
so
comical.
that's all part of the pre-race strategy that they have.
Briefings.
They'll go through exactly what each strategy is. If there's an early safety car, they'll have a different strategy. If there's a late one, they'll have... Oftentimes you'll hear guys, you'll hear their pit crew go, "Oh, we're like Plan A +2, which means they've
laps.
got more
They're
fuel
extending it by 2
or
laps
more,
or something.
more tire than they thought than they were expecting, and so we're going, instead of pitting around 15, we're going to go around 17 or
Okay.
something like that.
Well, my other question is, why would they have... What was the point of Leclerc pitting so early? They're on the mediums. Why wouldn't you just try and... Even if it was part of your plan to pit him then, when you can see the softs are holding out so well, why not just stay on a little longer? Like, he wasn't complaining about tyre degradation or anything like that. That's why I was just you're just throwing darts with blindfold at this stage.
Do you get the sense that Ferrari just don't give a shit anymore? Like, it's almost to that level. Like, the way that Sainz was during the race, where it's just like... I don't even know what I'm doing here anymore.
Yeah, it's like, what's Plan
B?
B?
And Leclerc, didn't hear anything.
Plan B was the catering had run out of beef options, and so there were
I'm not doing fish.
Was Plan B the chicken or the fish? I don't know. And I'll get back to you. You don't want to pick the wrong one.
Let me get back to you, Carlos. I'm just eating. All right, mate, give me a minute.
I'm having my Italian sub.
Also, because I obviously made a point of the commentators absolutely frothing on this race. What is your feelings of when the British commentators get really excited by British stuff? Do you like that, or would you rather them stay professional and just be unbiased during the race?
It's better than Americans doing it. When you hear Americans froth, it's just like, holy shit, calm down.
I mean, it's hard not to. I really enjoy when they get excited about stuff.
I think the fact is it,
right.
and I was going to ask this, is this the first time we've had this many British drivers in one season?
Probably close.
Not since like the 70s or 80s.
Oh, when it was all British.
in like modern
racing
times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a lot there, so I guess that you're always going to have that patriotism, aren't you? And you're always going to fangirl for the ones who are from where you're from.
I guess I find it weird because I just expect so many Brits to be in the F1. It's like, we get excited because it's rare to see an Australian really compete in that.
We only get one.
We get one.
Yeah, we're only allowed
the fact
one.
We have two is amazing.
There's usually one Brazilian.
Oh, now we're
and
getting
so everybody
two.
talks about
Yeah.
them being
Yeah.
So it's the fact that you've got three, or
Well, look, as the race went on, I was really impressed with the softs were holding out so well for Russell, and this was the kind of thing. Even though that was probably the most uneventful portion of the race, it was getting. I was like, something's coming.
Yeah.
Like if he's still on, he's halfway through the race almost.
Yeah.
And he's still on the softs.
And there was expectation where he should have pitted in like 15, 17. And he was at like 27.
I think it was 12 to 15 was the expectation.
Yeah.
And what
I think it was
actually
actually
surprised
15,
me, I don't
17,
actually think I put it in my notes, so I'll say it now. I don't know why there was not one team going, you know what? Let's put the softs on when we take these mediums off. They can clearly last half the race, and they're holding the speed. No one really did.
Yeah.
And obviously, we had a safety car, which we'll get to, but
Also,
it was odd that they didn't do that.
Also,
Right.
and we'll get to it when later on.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Laps 25 through 40. Lot to go through here. Russell is still out on his softs, as we said. Stroll just doesn't seem to be defending anyone. Like he's given up
Through
today.
a lot, yeah.
Everyone just went straight past him. He didn't even try and defend, which maybe he listens to the podcast and goes, I don't want to give them any more ammo to throw at me.
By
I'm
doing
sick of
nothing,
hearing
he
that I
gave us
always
more.
cause a crash. I was like, well, the race isn't over yet. There's still time, Stroll.
And that's like, don't worry, buddy. I'll be coming.
We'll get there. Science pits along with some tail enders, but most people are still out on the track. McLaren then discusses that the hards are actually the best option, despite people struggling on them, which was an odd thing to say. 2 secs, Ted. At this point, Leclerc had only done 2 or 3 laps on the hards. Yeah. What data would they have had to know that people are struggling on the hards? Would that come from practice at all?
What do you mean?
Okay, so Leclerc's been out for 3 laps on the hards, clearly not performing well on them.
Yes.
That's it. There's one car, 3 laps, hards. They then radio Lando and go, he's like, what's strategy? He's like, look, hards, people are struggling on, but it still will be our fastest option.
Yeah.
When they say people are struggling on, they mean Leclerc 3 laps or all weekend?
They didn't say fastest option. They said better option.
Better option,
Yeah.
with what I assume is fastest.
All weekend. You'll know from free practice, and if anybody used one in like Q1 of qualifying, maybe you'd know how your car's doing. So it should be noted that each race you've got the soft, medium, and hard tire, but there are 3 levels in each.
Yeah.
That get chosen from. So that might be a level 2 hard tire. And it just might be a bit too hard in and of itself for the Ferrari. Or it might be a level 3 because it's such a big track. They might need an extra hard tyre. That's all. And it's just whether or not that compound is flexible enough for your setup. So, seeing how Ferrari, it's taken them 3 laps to heat up the tyres and they're just not getting any
that was enough for them to know.
I guess so.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
But it did.
Well,
there was some. Go on.
No, you go.
No, I was just going to say I'm trying to remember when it was, but at some point maybe it was further on where they started to really come alive, and then you actually saw what the hards were capable of. But it took a while to get there.
Not until McLaren put them on. So we do find out later that McLaren made the right decision, but not. They were the car they were the only car really smashing it on hards. We never really got to see that many because of the safety car. So Russell finally pits on lap 28, maybe.
I thought it was
but late 20s behind. He probably left it a bit too late because he comes out. It was a slow change, but he's now a second and a half behind Leclerc. But he does manage to take him over within 3 laps of being back out. So nice one, Mercedes. Piastri is the first McLaren to pit and goes to the hards, as they discussed. Hamilton is dropping behind Sainz the longer he waits to pit, and I felt that they really need to pull the trigger soon, but perhaps they're waiting for softs so they can manage that last half of the race. Perez and Sargent changed to softs. I made, I think, a point of that because Sargent was doing about as well as Perez at this stage. Perez is obviously looking to move quickly up the field. Let's hope it works. This McLaren seems to be a whole different car as Piastri smashes past Gasly into 5th and he's on hards. So we're learning a little here.
Yeah.
Magnussen is now on fire, which means virtual safety car. Ferrari get lucky and get to change tyres again. Great for Hamilton too, as his waiting has paid off.
Yeah.
Verstappen and Norris are way away from the pit, so they're actually like a whole half to 3/4 of a lap they have to take before they can pit. So they're much later to pit, and now we've got a full safety car.
And Alonso pitted when Lewis pitted as well, didn't he? They pitted at the same time.
Yeah. So Norris comes out on hards. Big question marks I have here. Zach says it's a close call and taking the choice for fresh tyres against used softs. Verstappen is on softs. Safety car will extend soft life as they ease it into the race. So often they'll come straight out. There's a lot more degradation in those first few laps. McLaren make a point of saying Hamilton is on used softs. Lando is not impressed that he's been given hards. McLaren are very worried about the degradation, though. Hamilton's straight up to Lando, and they waste time fighting against each other. In doing so, Max flies away. Well done, Zach, I've put. Great defense from Lando, though. Verstappen is now 2 seconds ahead in one lap, for fuck's sake. Now, Ev, I have a question.
Yes.
Now, obviously, later in the race, we see that McLaren actually performed pretty well on the hards. But that's not to say they wouldn't have performed better on the softs.
Yeah.
Hamilton's used tyres are literally 2 laps old. Would that really make a huge difference when you can pick a new hard versus a
2 lap
used
old soft?
Yeah, 2 lap old soft.
Yeah, it would make a big difference. So what they do with these used tyres, everybody gets the same amount of tyres at the start of the weekend, and it's up to you as to what do you want to use in free practice 1, 2, and 3, and what do you want to use in the qualifying sessions. So, yeah, you use those softs for 2 laps in qualifying, just to put it in a hot time, and then you take them off the car. They then take those tyres out to the back of the garage, and with it's like a heat gun and a hot knife. They scrape off the top layer, and then
the bubblings.
Yeah, and so it's cleaned, and what you'll have is, so obviously, like goalkeeping gloves or something, like that top layer of rubber is obviously the stickiest, but underneath that it's still really good. And as we saw, those tyres lasted longer than everybody expected. So there was really no downside for Lewis, as it so happens. Often it's the other way around, and the softs don't last as long as is expected, especially at these longer tracks. So, I don't know if they had any hards, Mercedes. I don't know if they spoke about it beforehand. They may have made that decision that...
I don't think they ever planned on using hards, to be fair. I think it was always going to be soft, medium, and then medium to soft.
I think I think the added confidence that Lewis had and the team had after how long Russell lasted on it was like
Russell,
okay,
that's right.
We can get through
Russell
this.
lasted half the race, over half a race.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that more teams didn't go, holy shit, softs are looking good. Let's go softs. And Red Bull obviously did. Max came out on the softs.
Yeah, and Perez was on mediums, wasn't he?
I
think he ended up changing onto mediums.
Yeah, okay. No, because he was softs and then went back to mediums.
Exactly,
Yeah, okay. Well, look, in saying that, I thought it was an odd choice considering how well the softs went for Mercedes. McLaren, like they said, it's close. So they probably couldn't lose either way. I would want to have seen them on the softs to see their speed comparatively to the Red Bull.
Yeah, I would have liked to have had Norris. I know we're not at that part of the section yet, but it would have been nice to have seen if they could have been that little bit more competitive towards Max.
Yeah.
Perez,
and I
ignored, but it's
I
all
think
about
ultimately
Max.
the hards, even though they ended up performing well on them, it actually wasted time because Hamilton was on softs and he could challenge Lando immediately. Then they just wasted time fighting, as we'll see. Let's go into lap 40. Lando and Hamilton are just wheel to wheel through Cobbs. Like, that is some exciting shit. They're back and forth. Yeah. Really, really good racing.
Lewis had respect for Lando there.
Yeah. So Russell notes that McLaren is good on hards. Lance Stroll, here's his moment now.
Say it then, Lance.
Lance Stroll takes Gasly four-wheel driving, and Gasly is fuming, demanding his place back. But then we find out Lance doesn't have to give it back, but then gets slapped with a black and white flag. Perez struggles to catch... Oh, and then what happened is Gasly pushed him wide. Stroll just cuts the corner on the track, comes back on dangerously.
Understeer.
Yeah, they slightly collide. It was just reckless.
It wasn't a slight collide.
I'm being nice to Lance in case he's listening.
Don't even fucking be nice to him. He's he's an absolute flog. He doesn't...
They're both just so... Gasly's just so angry. Gasly must be under a lot of pressure. Anyway... Perez struggles to catch Sainz. As Max mentions, the softs actually don't feel very good on the Red Bull as he gets another fastest lap.
I know. The fucking
Sainz loses place to Perez and Albon and now Leclerc. Gasly takes his place back from Stroll and closes in on Sainz. Mclaren holding on so well. Seems to have been a good choice. Gasly around the outside of Sainz as he's clearly struggling on hards. Sainz is struggling on hards, but pulls it back, and then Gasly goes off the track, and that's where we have contact with Stroll. Stroll goes off the track and returns to knock into Gasly and break his fucking suspension. Alpine limps back to the pits. Perez takes Alonso with 6 laps to go. Lewis has cooked his tyres from the restart from fighting with Lando. He needs to now cool down to make it to the end and chase down Norris. Shakira is back. Lewis is obviously just great mates with her. Norris now gets a black and white flag on lap 48 for track indiscretions. Stay on the track, mate. Alonso hangs on against Albon and Leclerc. Lewis rears are gone, and McLaren makes us all look like fools by performing brilliantly on the hards. Max wins. It's his first win at the British GP, and now 6 in a row. Norris is second. It's his first podium since Monza, I believe. Hamilton third. Sounds very jealous of McLaren. Piastri fourth. Russell fifth. An amazing crowd response. And a brilliant Lewis speech, which I'll get to after we go through these lap notes. So, 40 to 52, what were your high points here, Tay?
Definitely... Well, it's not really a high point, but it was definitely entertaining. Fucking Stroll, the way he drove and just went in the back end, or clipped the back end of Gasly. And then just carried on his merry way. Like, it was comical watching him. And it was when you see, I mean, obviously I can never talk. I'm not a fucking F1 driver. But just the aspect of looking at him drive and how he reacts and how he makes his decisions on the track is so amateur compared to everyone else on there. Like, everyone makes mistakes, fair, but like, this is consistent. and how, like, it was like watching a video and me playing F1 and how you come off the track and then quickly jump back on and you don't give a shit who you fucking take out getting back on.
It's like he's grown up playing the video game and just never puts damage on because he wants to win. And it's like he forgets that there is actually damage, or like every time he crashed his car, don't worry, Dad's got it. Just whatever you want, mate. You just go
5
in.
million
That was his tactic. Get it before he got to the F1. Look, man, we've got the money to repair our car. You go out and smash their cars, and we'll eventually just win by the dollar.
By the dollar.
Yeah.
But like, as a high point, I just loved the aspect that overall the last few laps of the race just felt like it was just so much more competitive. Like, in just every aspect of it. And I love that Max only ended up being, 5 seconds or so ahead of Lando. It's still like,
I'm trying to laugh, but like, I can't believe we're saying only.
But it just
5
means,
seconds.
But it just means a great deal, because usually it's fucking like 30 seconds. You know, it's usually a substantial amount of time, and it's just a boring fucking thing. And I hate his end of fucking race speeches and how smug he sounds on the radio. Like, it just irritates the shit out of me. So it was nice that it was a lot more competitive. It was great. Yeah. And even at the end, when, like, you know, the post-race stuff, like, as much as I fucking hate on him, you know, I love... Fuck. Dog's going apeshit. Can you hear?
No way, just keep going. Fucking dog.
Yeah, I just love the aspect of the camaraderie and the friendships that they all have, you know. And like I can never understand it, to be honest, because of, you know, my utter hatred. But I do appreciate the fact that like they've all grown up racing together. They all have some sort of respect and affiliation, and they are mates, you know. They're like a...
Well, I mean, it's easy for Max to be excited for Lando when Max can't lose. You know, it's
well,
like,
no,
man,
100%.
So for you. It's like, when it's close, you're not happy.
Yeah, 100%. It would have been different. I'd love to know what his reaction would have been if Lando ended up winning. And
I still think he would have been excited for him, but I would be interested to see his reaction if they were competing for a spot on the Drivers' Championship and he came second, you know. Yeah. And maybe, I don't know, it's hard.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been... no one's been competitive with him in such a long time.
Can we also... And it's just made me think of it because I thought of Max's dad, but the worst human next to Max's dad is Helmet. And when he was trying to get to the barrier next to Zach and the fucking photographer was there and he was trying to push the photographer out of the way and the photographer wouldn't budge, and the face that Helmet had was fucking hilarious. He was so angry. He was just like, do you know who I am? Sort of thing. Like, it was that sort of face. And it was like, it was bad. And the guy just zooms in on his face as it's happening. And it's like, holy shit. It's like, that was bad. But anyways, yeah. So, like, yeah, I just loved how it was just such a more competitive race. And it almost took me back to that last race in 2021 between Lewis and Max, when up until that last lap, it was like 1-1. And even back last year at the beginning, where between Charles and Max, when they were racing so much more competitively, and I actually, you know, and we'll bring it up later, but it gets me excited at the potential of what next season could be.
Yep.
Yeah. It gets me more excited for the next race, to be honest.
Well, that too.
Hungary is the next race. It's another one of... I get my three favourite tracks in a row this year, which is great.
Yeah, it's very... Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our podium. 2 Brits on the podium, which was really cool. Russell and Hamilton, I must note, were saying a lot at the end, we just can't do anything against the McLarens, and they're on hards. They were like blown away by the speed of the McLarens.
Oh, Lewis was like, he was frothing at the mouth at how quick Lando was through those 3 corners, the ones that I can't pronounce.
He was even looking at the McLaren car at the end, just giving it a little...
Oh, no, just like, ooh, you were quick, baby.
There's a few good memes of, like, you know that video of Toto walking angrily through the garage? It's like
Darth Vader.
Toto going to McLaren to get his Mercedes back.
Get his engine back. It's like, I already got my engine back from Aston Martin. I'm coming for you, McLaren.
Well, that concludes the race. One thing I did note is Lewis's fucking speech. This has got to be... I hate a lot of his speeches.
Yeah, you really
was
do.
One of the worst I've ever seen.
Fan.
So, Lewis, that was an exceptional... It was something like, well, Lewis, that was an exceptional race for you. His response was, I didn't do it. The crowd did.
Yeah.
And I was like, yuck. Gross, mate. Fuck off. Just say, yeah, I did have a good race. It was a good race. And thanks to the crowd for cheering me on. It's like, nah, that wasn't me. That was the crowd.
It was all you. And he starts
so
pointing. Just starts pointing.
It was you.
You're the stars.
You won the race. You got a podium.
I'm just the driver. You guys are the ones driving me.
I don't
First
mind
was
that
Verstappen.
stuff.
Second was
I don't
Lando.
care.
Third was the crowd.
Yeah, you won. You guys, you won
heroes.
this week.
You're all winners in my
heart. You can't see me
heart.
because it's a podcast, but I'm pointing with both fingers, just really emphatically towards the crowd.
Also, did you see that? Also, whenever Shakira's at a race of his, he gets a podium.
Well, that's 2 from 2 then.
Exactly.
Yeah. Every time she gets a close up. So I'll go through the quick
raging
results.
podium.
Spoiler alert: results for the weekend. Max first, Lando second, Lewis third, Oscar Piastri fourth, George Russell fifth. That's 3 Brits in the top 5.
It's 450,003 Brits.
480. 480,000.
Perez 6th, Alonso 7th, Albon 8th. Great work by Albon.
Yeah.
They're looking really good. They were one of the fastest.
He was
fastest
really
cars,
quick, actually. He was doing really well. Yeah.
Yeah. Ferrari 9 and 10 with Leclerc and Sainz.
Can we just acknowledge
shit.
the fact that they dropped 5 places?
Can we also acknowledge the fact that Logan Sargent was the next car behind Ferraris?
Oh, that just speaks
So I
volumes
think
for Ferrari.
That Williams must be fucking firing now. Bottas much better at 12th this week. Hulkenberg managed to recover from last to 13th. Stroll 14th. Zhou 15th. Tsunoda 16th. DeVries 17th. Basically, he did actually come last in his last race, as 18, 19 and 20 were all DNFs. Gasly, thanks to Stroll, Magnussen due to his fire, and Ocon to hydraulics issues. So Alpine, again, nothing to show for it this weekend. Fucking awesome race. I really loved it. Really loved the qualifying. I'm so happy for Silverstone because I think it was only a few years ago that they were questioning whether they'd keep it. So good to have it back.
Yeah.
And that brings us to Haas. You've been paying attention. That's right. No need for a segue this week. We get to our weekly quiz. For those of you who are new, Haas, you've been paying attention. Is our weekly
Have you, Evan?
Episodically made trivia about the news of the week and the race of the week. And despite the many complaints from Ev that I just don't make it about paying attention this week, I've made sure every question this week was something that was mentioned.
Oh, terrific.
During Sunday night. so you're fucked, Ev. But it's also just notable things from the Silverstone
I'm fucked as
race.
well because I'm probably not going to
doesn't pay
fucking remember.
I'm looking at my notes and I haven't even put them in question form. I've just noted like the 6 interesting facts of the weekend, so I'm going to have to be careful how I word these questions. And the highlight, obviously, of the trivia every week is the buzzers. Can I get your buzzers, please, gentlemen? When you're ready.
You go, Tay.
It's going to be... It's going to be... no.
Mine.
No, just no?
No.
No. Okay,
I can't hear anything. I can't hear anything. No.
No, I can't hear anything. No.
In honor of the national anthem, mine will be ba 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 ba, which I should have just played instead. Ba 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 ba.
How are you going to do that as a buzzer? You can't do ba and that be your buzzer. You can't go and then he gets called as buzzer.
No, it's all right. But we've got no, I can't hear anything, and ba 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 ba. Skip it up.
Winding little way down in Bake Street.
Okay, all right, Damian Lewis, chill out. Okay. Notable that he was there again this year because he was at the race last year. He
He's
must
English.
fucking love his F1.
He's English.
It's like, hey, Damien, we'd love you to be more of a part of the race this year. Maybe you could. Can you sing? Yeah, I can sing. Maybe you could do the anthem for us. Just don't do anything really weird and crazy. Let's just keep it simple. Yeah, got it.
I'm surprised he didn't try and plug something.
Now, do you need an orchestra? Do you need a backing track? No. I've just got my sax player.
Yeah.
What? I've just got a sax player.
He's going to be doing it with me.
With a backing track? No backing track. Just you wait. Just wait. It'll be unforgettable.
When I saw it, I was just like,
she packed my bags.
I was like,
Pre-flight.
I was struggling. So I was like, is that who I think it is? Is that Damien Hirst? And I was like, what the fuck is his
Hurst.
name? I know, it's the other twatty Brit.
He sings it in front of a decapitated shark or something.
Yeah. Where's my Sikorsky fucking crystal skull? No, I just could not. I blanked on his name so hard. I blanked on it so hard.
I loved you in that thing. You know, the thing that you were in? Yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, he was in Band of Brothers.
Let's get going with the quiz, gentlemen. All right. These are all just big notable records, basically, this week. So, this weekend saw 11 Red Bull wins in a row, equaling Mclaren. What year did Mclaren do this?
You fucking...
Evan.
I think it might be the last year that Lewis was there with Fernando Alonso. but I don't know what year that is. I think that may have been 2001, maybe?
No, incorrect. Also, couldn't have been 2001.
Yeah.
I think it'd been 2008 or 9. Lewis wasn't old enough in 2001, mate. Anyway, that's incorrect.
For that shit,
Taylor.
higher or lower?
I'm not telling you.
Higher or lower? See,
I've given you enough.
Let's go
I've given you
2008,
enough
just said it.
clues. I gave you enough clues during the race review that you should know whether it's higher or lower.
Okay, then I'm going to say 2010.
Incorrect. It was 1988.
Fuck. See, I was going to... That
Fucking
was the other number,
ages
but then
ago.
all I could think of was the 2010 comment you made earlier in the show. So I don't know when 1988 came into it at
It
all.
didn't.
You weren't paying attention to something
It's
he
just
didn't
like
say.
The last time Mclaren even got a podium at Silverstone was like 2009 or 10. So it's like they weren't doing that great then either. Like, anyway. Sorry, I confused you.
That still
Were you
doesn't
gonna
make-
guess?
that doesn't
What
make
were you gonna
any
be like?
sense.
Oh yeah, it's 88. Oh no, Digby gave me that clue. Oh, it's probably 2010.
But that doesn't make
Like,
any
was that-
sense because Jensen won.
Yeah, but he didn't get. He's not known for getting 11 wins in a row. or
No,
anything
true,
like
true.
that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but Alonso and Hamilton together would.
But they didn't.
Yeah. No, I...
the point.
To be fair, the number I had in my head was 1986, so I still would have been wrong. But...
Okay. Well, it would have been close. It would have been a more respectable answer.
Yeah, fuck
Question
you.
2. Max has now won 6 consecutive races in a row. Can you name me the other 3 drivers who have done this?
Oh my god. I fucking saw it.
And for a bonus point, which of those 3 drivers has done it twice? Evan.
Was it Senna?
No. Can you? I'll let you guess. I'll give you guys a point each. So if you can guess, 2 of the others.
I fucking saw it. I think it was Prost.
No, not Prost.
Schumacher?
Nah.
Yes.
Oh, what?
Oh, sucked in! Point!
He was 1. That's a point for Ev. Can you think of any? You can still take a guess, Tay.
The fuck is the other one?
Nigel Mansell.
Oh, it was.
No.
Oh.
Ah, damn it!
No. What did you say, Tay?
No, I had him in my mind as well.
I'll give you guys one more guess each.
Wait, Ev's had more than
Fangio.
me.
What?
Fangio?
No. That's your guess. Tay, one more guess.
Vettel.
Is that like Sterling Moss or something?
Yes, Vettel was 1.
Fuck
yes.
yeah.
Vettel.
Yeah.
And the bonus point. This is a 50-50 bonus point.
Yeah.
First in gets it. Who did it twice?
Schumacher.
Yes, Schumacher.
You son of a-
And guess what?
He
the
didn't
other
give
person.
his buzzer. I was
I
ready
didn't have
to
to. It was
buzz.
first in quick. It was such a
Same
shocking
thing anyway,
answer.
mate.
Schumacher. I win.
Oh,
There you go.
fuck off.
There you go.
So
Did it properly.
the other person was
Get
my
Michael
mate,
Massey in here.
Rosberg. Rosberg's
was
the
it
other
Rosberg?
6 in a row.
Oh shit, that's surprising. I would never have guessed him. To be honest, I
Notably
didn't
missing is Hamilton.
Yep.
even. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2
Also, all
points
of
for
my
Tay
guesses.
and 1 point for Ev.
Same.
2-1. All right. Is this or is this not first Silverstone points for George Russell?
It is.
It is. Well done, because he crashed out. He got out of his car last year.
50-50.
Yeah.
And he was in Williams every other time. So that's
Yeah.
2 each. 3 questions left.
Fucking hell.
Okay. I don't think this is a question, actually. Yeah, okay. So that was 30 points for McLaren on the weekend. Where do they now sit on the constructors?
No, I can't hear anything.
What? Hold on. What?
I said no, I can't hear anything.
Oh, that's your... Yeah,
Yeah,
that's yours. Taylor, your guess first.
I think they moved up to now 5th.
It's correct.
Yeah.
They are 5th. 3-2 to Tay. 2 questions left. Ev, you're still in this. All right. How many? What number podium was this for Lewis at the British GP?
No, I can't hear anything.
Taylor.
It was number
Here we go. Take your time.
14.
Yes!
Yes!
Oh my god. 4-2
Because
today.
I almost said 8, and I was like, no, that's how many he's fucking won there. No.
Yeah, I was going to
All
say 8. I was going to say 8.
Yeah.
I had that number in my head.
Well, with that,
Yeah.
Taylor
no, that's
wins,
how
but
many
we'll
he's
do
won.
we'll do the last question anyway.
because it's worth 5 points.
What was the last year they had two Brits on the podium of the British GP?
Last year.
Yeah. This is for the viewers at home.
I'm going to say 2013.
No. So to really hammer it home, to make it 5-2, can you get this, Tay?
I thought it would have been
2
Jason
Brits
Dutton.
on the podium the last time. So I'm just going through my head.
The last British GP.
Oh, last British GP with British.
Yeah,
Drivers.
2 Brits on the
It
podium.
would have been the
Gotcha.
year Jensen won, I'm guessing. Because that BAR was winning everything.
Just make your own mind up here, Tay.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Just take a guess. It doesn't matter. You've already won.
This is all dead air, Taylor.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
going to say, 2008.
1999.
Okay.
It's ages ago.
Yeah,
It's
that
actually,
was ages
considering how
ago.
many Brits are in F1.
Well, I was just
it's-
I was just thinking of when Jensen and Lewis were racing.
Yeah, so when was it?
It-
Well,
the
this
same
is why I
team,
put
so
that
that's-
question in, because
yeah.
they mentioned this. I was like, this is fucking ages ago.
And
all
who
this
was
stuff,
it? Was it
including the McLaren stuff.
was it Nigel and? No, he was way earlier than that. No, it was
it was
Coulthard
early
and
90s.
was it
I
Coulthard
don't know.
and Damon Hill?
I wouldn't. Oh, yeah, probably. Anyway, that brings us to the end of Has You Been Paying Attention. That means Tay is on 6 and Evan
Are we sure we
4.
should still let Ev be our technical director when it comes to
Well,
the
to
show?
be fair, none of those questions were technical.
They're all like
So he's our
multiple
2-6
choice.
head guy.
the Mr. Know-It-All.
Yeah. Now, in saying that, if anyone who's listening can get me a soundbite of 2 Sexed Head, that would be most appreciated. Thank you.
Well, aren't you meant to try and get it before you put this out?
Yeah,
Well,
if you can
if-
send
if-
it to us
if
last
I'm
week,
saying
we'll
that-
add it into this episode.
If we've got to this far in the podcast, you'll know if I found it or not. So if it isn't in the podcast, if you could please send me one, or if you can do a great impression, also fine.
2 Sexed
all right.
Head.
Well, that'll bring us to the
good.
final section. There's just been so much to talk about in this race. Any more kind of like opinions on the teams and how they performed, their maturity levels, I guess, is one thing. Do you feel like the strategies in the team felt a little more varied this week, let's say? No one was copying everyone,
Right.
you know, and I
Yeah,
found
it
that
wasn't
very
the
interesting
same
because I know
shit.
recently we've been saying, you know, same strategy,
But
same this.
to
It's
be
all a bit
fair,
boring.
I've found that the last couple of races. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't feel like people were copying each other. Like, I mean, they even made a note in Austria that, like, not one person was like, that. You had every set of tyres, every type of tyre out on the track.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Yeah.
definitely the last couple of races have been more varied and everyone's doing what they feel is best for that car, because now they're establishing what their car can actually do and having
Yeah,
a bit
exactly.
more of awareness of what that capability is. So therefore,
Yeah.
basing those tires off that as well as everything else. But
Yeah.
I don't think. I think everyone's beating to their own drum. I think even when strategies are shifting and changing, and no one's really adapting to things that other teams are doing either. You know, the drivers are saying, "Hang on, why aren't we doing this?" But the team is still going, "No, we're still going to go on these." So it seems, to some extent, that the strategist, that the team itself isn't really always listening to the drivers either.
Well, I think it made the weekend much more exciting. It didn't feel like a foregone conclusion. It was more things to take note of. And the fact they even went to the point of not copying anyone, because I really thought this was a weekend like, you should be copying Mercedes now.
Yeah,
you should
yeah.
be going to the
Yeah.
softs.
Yeah.
I thought that was, and obviously would say like McLaren, they obviously had a very well thought out plan
And
They
just
knew
stuck
that
to
was
it.
better to stick to it. Yeah, and it was going to be a close call either way.
But I generally think, I don't think they knew that the hards were going to hold up. I think the way that Zach was talking on the radio.
Well, yeah, they did. Sorry, they did mention that because they had more downforce than Mercedes, the Mercedes was going to hold it much better than they were going to hold it. So they really had no choice but to go on the hards.
Yeah.
So it was cool just to see that kind of change up, and it made for a really great race, despite Max still winning. Well, let's move our way off the track to a degree as we come to our final section of the day. What's Verstappen? It's our quickfire round where we bring up points, newsworthy points of the week, and Ev and Tay give their fast-ish responses. They got a time limit of 20 seconds, although we need to be a little bit lenient on it. Never stick to it, but it's better than giving you too much time and then you guys going for 5 minutes. So I will do my best to keep you in check. The first subject of the day, which we haven't really talked about, Danny Ricciardo is back, kicking DeVries out of Alpha Tauri.
The honey
and
badger.
racing from Hungary onwards. Test times he did at Silverstone were good enough for 8th on the grid on the weekend, some say. Some even say it would have been good enough for the front row of the grid due to him being on fresh, new style hards with no blankets. Where can we expect him on the grid in Hungary? Ev?
Right at the back, because the Alpha Tauri is kind of the slowest car. No, it is. It is. It's like they're doing so badly this year.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
That's it?
I think that they should have put Perez into the Alpha Tauri and put because that kind of makes more sense.
They don't need to, mate. They don't need to. He's at the back of the pack anyway. So.
Yeah.
No, but that's exactly right. Whereas I think, if they're saying, because obviously Danny was in the Red Bull, he wasn't in the Alpha Tauri when he was testing.
Yeah, that's right. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, so he's getting. If they're saying anywhere from 8th to 1st, that's still better than Perez.
Yeah.
Like as in first as in front row first, not first place.
Like you've got nothing to gain from
pole.
keeping Perez.
Yeah. So but at the same time, for whatever reason, they probably don't want to fall into the trap that McLaren did and have to do some hefty payout to get Perez off the team.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, here's my other question. What does Danny need to do to show that this was a dumb move? Like, because the Alpha Tauri is clearly a shit car.
He needs to be in the top 10.
We don't want him to look bad, right? So what does he need to do to... He can only do so well in this car.
Top 10.
There's a limit.
Top 10, and it probably...
So you think for it to look like he's doing well enough, he has to be top 10 in this piece of
because
shit
we
car.
could all say, well, he needs to do better than Tsunoda and DeVries, but that doesn't speak much, right? So, as long as he's getting through Quali and all rounds through Quali, and then being able to perform well on race day, whether that based on strategy or whatever, and just the lack of poor performance in the car, as long as when he can fight, he does fight.
I don't.
And he's able to.
I disagree. I don't think that car's capable of it. I think that what we see at Aston Martin is if Alonso wasn't there, we'd all be saying, well, the Aston Martin's still pretty average. But Alonso's proving that there is cause for optimism. And I think that that's what Alpha Tauri need, is for somebody to...
some sort of... I get that. Yeah.
Stop the boat from rocking, because Tsunoda's so... not unreliable, just a whirlwind of anger.
Emotion.
Yeah. And...
well, I'm excited for the socials by those two.
Yeah.
But I actually think it's not a great move unless because it's a bad car, right? Like great for to get him on the track and stuff, but I think simply he just needs to beat Yuki. As long as he's better than Yuki, I don't think anyone can really complain considering how poorly that car is performing.
True.
What a Red Bull, I don't think Red Bull are putting him there and hoping that he's going to start getting in the top 10.
No,
if they are,
that's
I think
true.
that's
That's
very
a good point.
unrealistic.
As long as they're doing better than... As long as he does better than DeVries. Because clearly, what's the point in swapping him?
No, he has to be. He has to do better than Yuki. I think if he's doing better than DeVries, but still losing to Yuki, I think that's going to damage his rep.
Yeah, I agree.
But do you think, just following on from this, do you think that even though Horner said there's no chance that we're looking at
There's
him
definitely a
at Red
chance
Bull.
because he said there's no chance that DeVries was
Yeah,
going.
exactly.
DeVries is
So,
gone.
so do you, based on that, do you think this is just like a little stepping stone to get him back in
100%,
to Red Bull?
100%,
Yeah.
And because Checo is clearly performing badly, they're worried, and they're going to look. If he let's just put him in the Alpha Tauri. If he smashes it, then we know
that he's
it's
capable.
easier for us to go. Look, Checo, he's
Exactly.
driving pretty well.
Yeah.
I am dying to see him and Checo fighting it out over like 11th place.
Same. But then we might get surprised by Checo. This might be the fire under his ass, and all of a sudden he comes back and he crushes it the last half of the season.
Yeah, maybe.
Half.
Well, in the history of Red Bull second drivers being put under pressure, it generally
doesn't work.
Does not make them perform well. Okay, subject 2. McLaren. McLaren had a huge weekend thanks to their most recent upgrades. But it can be hard to get excited as we have seen them excel on single weekends in the past and still fall short on other tracks. They claim that there are more upgrades to come, which will make them even more competitive. Is it likely we will continue to see McLaren up at the pointy end for the rest of the year, or are they one-track wonders? Evan Locke.
No, I think that we'll be seeing them succeeding. We're seeing now that coming into the end of the first half of the season, big upgrades are coming through, and they seem to be making a big impact. Mercedes are certainly a lot better than when they started. The McLaren's certainly a lot better than that. So, I think that we'll be seeing them succeeding further on. We'll just have to wait and see. I think that car suits fast and middle speed corners rather than the slow corners like a street circuit.
Yeah.
But other than that, we'll see. So Hungary should be good for them because Hungary's got a lot of fast corners. I mean, it's quite twisty, but I'm excited.
I love this track.
Yeah.
It's a good fast track with a lot of varied corners.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Tay? Or any other points?
I was just going to add that. I mean, based on this one track, it might be too early to tell if they're going to sustain this sort of success. Based on the sort of track that they've been known to do reasonably well out in general. But also on top of that, this is the first proper weekend that they've both had the upgrades. And as Ev said, there's more to come. So, yes, but at the same time, just look at Ferrari and Aston Martin. They were both formidable at the beginning of the season, and look how quickly they dropped back. It's almost like Mercedes and McLaren have taken their spots based on the time of season. So it'll be interesting to see over, I think, this Hungary and then the race after. I forget which one's after Hungary.
Singapore? No.
Is it Singapore?
No, it might be.
Spa.
It might be.
I think it's Spa. Oh, yeah.
Spa,
Of course
Belgium,
it is.
Belgium.
It's Spa. Yeah. So both those are going to be awesome.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to those two tracks so much.
Well,
so
I'm looking forward to the rain in Belgium.
So, I hope there's not. No, actually, I want rain just for the excitement of it, but not to stop the race.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on from that one.
Yeah. So I'll know. We'll all know more once those.
We'll
two
know more
races
soon.
go.
But you're a bit indifferent. Hollywood hang-ups. On the weekend, we saw international movie sensation Brad Pitt, or Brad Pitt, as we will call him now, filming segments for a new F1 movie produced by Lewis Hamilton, which, as the commentators put, was a logical next step for the sport. Should we be excited about this new film? Was it refreshing to see more celebrities take a serious interest in the sport? Ev.
I hate these. I don't like any of these types of movies. This I love it how it's like, oh, it's Brad Pitt, and then the second guy is like a complete unknown because they've spent all their money getting Brad Pitt into this movie. They don't have any sort of budget left over to get somebody else who's
But that's usually what you do. You put a big star like Brad Pitt and associate him with a new up and comer to give that new up and comer the chance for people to all go and see him.
Well, it's like the Gran Turismo film.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think also just to note that this is an Apple film, so it's not.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not a cinema film, from my understanding. And so I don't know if that plays an effect. I also, I don't like the logo. I don't like this whole feel of how it feels very Hollywoodish.
Can we just
it feels like it feels like an F1 game, and you've just made your own
creative
team.
department came up with the sponsor Expensify.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
I know.
No one's coming up with that company
and then
name.
AMG's in the back there as well. It just feels like it's a livery and something that we would have done as our own team
Creative
in F1
like
2023.
Creative characters. We only can choose from like 5 things.
Yeah. So
I must say, I do enjoy seeing more celebrities because look, we can't avoid it. There's going to be celebrities on the grid.
Yeah.
I just think it helps having them take serious interest.
Yeah,
and I like
for
seeing
sure.
having proper conversations about it.
And
he seemed genuinely starstruck with Martin Brundle, which was quite cute, I thought.
Yeah.
By the way, Brad Pitt's too big to be a Formula One racer. He's like 6 foot.
Far too big.
He's really broad, like all muscle.
Yeah.
If you ever see those guys, like they're tiny.
All muscle. All right,
except
Ev.
George Russell.
And Albon.
Yeah, they're quite short, and it's just.
I
really
did
fun.
love the fact that the time period that this is meant to be at, or when his character, Sonny Hayes or whatever, was meant to be driving, was the same time that Martin Brundle was driving. So he made reference when they were talking. It's like, hey, we would have been racing against each other. And it's like, it's cool stuff like that. I at least he has a respect for it. Apart from the fact when they had a selfie with the drivers, and we spoke about this, where he generally looked so exhausted, he did not want to be there. Looks so exhausted. So,
well, the last thing we got noted down here, it's not too much of a question, but it's a quick one. Ev, this is from Tay. Do you think the cars will be more competitive next year come next season? Well, let me read that again. Do you think the cars will be more competitive come next season?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
As also Taylor is a resounding yes.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I'm looking forward to next season.
Next year will likely be the one
inevitably,
to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. If McLaren keep moving up and Mercedes keep moving up, we could see a really competitive top three.
So
Ferrari can get their shit together.
Next year, Mercedes will be able to have a car with a chassis that better suits their needs, whereas right now they talk about Lewis sits way too forward in the car. So next year, if you have that car and move him a little bit further back and just change those dynamics a little bit, all of a sudden I would really put money on maybe George beating Lewis and then really challenging Max.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Well-
but close every race. None of this fucking flyaway bullshit, but just close every race.
Yeah, and so we're seeing...
On your edge of the seat,
yeah. That's all we
fucking
asked.
shit.
That's all we asked for.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So next race is Hungary. I'd say we'll probably see a similar result to what we saw in Silverstone. Perhaps a bit more of a challenge with Mercedes now knowing that McLaren's a genuine threat. Ferrari probably lots more just guessing with their tyre compounds. And maybe we'll see Williams get double points. Aston Martin needs to kind of sort their shit out. They're kind of slowly dropping back and being more consistently back in the pack.
Yeah.
Don't know if they've got anything in the works. Doesn't sound like they do. But we will see you for another race review. We've compiled the race. We've done it play by
Digby's
play.
notebook.
We've discussed the news around the track. What was that?
Digby's notebook.
Digby's notebook. It's been done. It's been dusted. We've all had a great weekend. We hope you have too. We'll see you in Hungary. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you, Evan. Thank you, Taylor.
No problem.
Thank you, F1.
Thank you, Digby.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.